Hi, welcome to Unity Workshop. Over the last couple of days I've dug out as much video equipment hanging around the house that I possibly could to try it out, to see whether it was going to be any use for making these videos. This is footage of that height chart that I was making for my granddaughter, and it was shot on a Vivitar compact, supposedly HD video camera. The video resolution's okay, but the colours are all washed out and it jumps around like you would not believe. I mean, the step in between frames is ridiculous, so I don't honestly think I'll be using that. Anyone who's watched my previous couple of videos will remember that I made a planter a little while ago, and I figured I'd make a smaller version of this out of some old pallet wood I had laying about. Reclaiming pallet wood's not as economic as it first seems, and I know there seems to be a trend. A lot of people are making stuff out of pallet wood at the moment, but my experience with it is, unless you're choosy about what you pick, it tends to be fairly low quality. Now, I made the panels and the legs and the caps for the legs, and had the wife paint them. And what I'm doing here is I made them slightly oversized, so I'm cutting them down so they've got a nice square edge for the final product. The ubiquitous height chart there, I need to finish that before the 22nd of June. Anyway, those boards that I cut down to straight, essentially I was planning to attach them to the legs with pocket hole screws, the same way as I did with the larger planter that I built. So I got my pocket hole jig out and a clamp, and for some reason this particular day I was all fingers and thumbs. I used the clamp on the board, which was the way it should be done, but to be honest, without clamping it down to the work surface, it was making things a little bit difficult. So you'll see from this I'm a little bit clumsy. Ridiculous. It's like watching a comedy of errors. Yeah, oh, don't drop it. Oh, there we go. So I did eventually make it work, but from then on out I had the sense to clamp the boards to the work surface, which makes perfect sense, and things went much quicker then. As you'll see, it stays more stable. What a muppet. The pocket hole system's grand if you're not interested in what the quality of the joinery is like, and this is what they look like close up. You can plug these with dowels if you need to. So I started by clamping the boards to the legs in order to stop them from moving around when I drove the screws into them. The difficulty here is that on the side where the screws are going to be, that's the flush edge, so it's quite difficult to get the two sides flush. So I did a bit of fiddling about until I got them lined up as best I could. This pallet wood isn't particularly straight, but the rustic feel of the thing is what I was going for, so I wasn't too worried about accuracy here. So you'll see me fiddling around with it till I get it more or less in the centre, and then it's just a matter of driving the screws into the thing. Of course, as always, I didn't think far enough forward, and instead of clamping this system down somehow, what I did was left it on the bench, drove the screw, let go of it, and that's what happened. Ridiculous. I was quite careful to make sure that once I'd started attaching things together, that in terms of where they sat against the legs, that I made the measurements the same from the top each time, and I did the first one arbitrarily and measured that and worked the rest out to that. unfortunately, because it's me, it didn't stop me putting the last leg on upside down and then wondering why the whole thing wobbled towards that leg. So I had to take it off and put it back on again. I used a straight edge to find the centre of the top of each of the legs, and did the same for the bottom of each of the top caps to find the centres and pre-drill them so that they lined up as best possible. Again, this has got a rustic feel to it, so it's not drastically critical, but it does give the overall effect that that you've put some thought into it at least.